Hey folks, this is Lawrence with a quick Molten merch review. Molten merch review. Here we go. We're going to be discussing a pretty fine instrument. This would be the Schecter OMEN-4 bass guitar. Black Cherry is how it's described. We're going to be taking a look at that. It looks like it retails for about $5.99 currently. That price is subject to change, I'm sure. It can be found on Amazon. The reason why I'm going to review this is I actually had to pick it up as an emergency measure to replace a bass that I had basically had to replace for a gig. The tuning pegs on my other bass gave out. I tried to replace them twice, got bad pegs, and they had to go back. I was out of time. I had to go emergency purchase a bass. Never had to do that in my life, but there's always a first for everything. So let's go ahead and talk about the description. The brand is Schecter. The size is full. It's a full-size Schecter, and my particular color of this bass is a black cherry. It is 48 by 17 by 3.75 inches in its dimensions. The top material is maple. Back material is mahogany. String material is alloy steel, of course. The finish is varnish, and really nice varnish on that, by the way. Instrument is bass guitar, and it is at the weight of 4 pounds. So we're going to go ahead and discuss this piece of engineering marvel with this edition of Molten merch, and let's get into it. All right, folks, here we are. And just as a preference, I've never done a video where you have two simultaneous inputs going into the computer while I'm videotaping. So bear with me if there's any issues with that. So we'll see if we get a nice clean signal. Seems like it has a clean signal. And we shall see. What do you think? So my first impression of the bass, and I'll tell you how I ran across this bass, is I was checking out all these lower end basses. I just need an emergency bass, and out of the corner of my eye, I was actually at Guitar Center, and I saw this bass on the wall, and I thought, yeah, it's probably out of my price range. I'm going to try to keep it low. So this particular one was actually a used unit, and it was just slightly under the price of a new unit. So the good news was I was able to save on this one, get a case for it as well, protect it, which that's something I'm trying to focus on, is get an equally nice case for your guitar. I'm just learning how to take care of my stuff, so I'm like a little kid in a lot of ways. So anyway, long story short, I gave it a try, and it actually played really well. It was already set up, probably by the previous owner. So the preference would be it might not be set up when you get it. It might, I don't know. I honestly haven't investigated that. So the way it plays is actually pretty amazing. It's the action's low for me on this particular bass. 4 pounds, it doesn't seem like a lot of weight. It is a lot of weight compared to the basses I generally play. Think of this as a bit like a bass version of, say, a Les Paul. The quality is built into it, which means there's a nice solid reverberation that runs through the unit to get you the right tones. And so in general, you're going to get a more mellow, slightly darker tone than, say, like a thin-necked speed guitar that's lightweight. You're going to get a more warm tone out of this bass. So the people that have heard this tone so far have said things like that. It's a really warm, nice sounding, well-rounded bass is kind of what I'm hearing. I generally like my basses snappy, and this does have snap to it. It's just more on the warm end of things. I'm not generally what I go for in a bass, but it's definitely a beautiful bass. So let's see if we can get something live here. Probably should have done this ahead of time. So when I hear that, what I hear is I hear like a really low end tone. It's a bass, for Pete's sake. What do you think? I'm not hearing a super amount of snap, and that could be added in the tone knobs, I suppose. And right now I have the tone knob at the one that can be affected that has like a fixed point in it. So it's a halfway. I think it's for treble, and that is affected at the halfway mark. So it's notched in. So I can move it left and I can move it right. And when I move those left or right, it will snap in place to the midpoint, and that's how I know. Everything else is full blast. So yeah, I mean, to me, that's a nice tone. Um, Kind of resembles a Rickenbacker in some respects. It doesn't in others. It's a little darker or a little lower. And so my thing is like I particularly like I said, I like that snap, and I actually brought back a Ampeg bass for that very reason. It was just two in the low end. Um, I'm used to hearing that growl out of a bass with say Rickenbacker or similar basses. So um, I would say that for all the great qualities of this bass, let's go through the pros and the cons. The pros are it's elegant, well made, well crafted. Uh, this is something I would expect in say like a custom shop. And it's not like I buy $1,300 guitars all the time. This one's about $500, $600, somewhere in that price range currently. Um, but there's just, it's a lot of quality built into this bass. And so I would give it, especially for the price range, I'd give it a 10 out of 10 on the quality itself. Um, the pickups are nice, very robust, and they look beautiful. I was lucky enough to pull that manufacturer's plastic off off the pickups, just like it came out of the shop. I don't know how used this bass was when I bought it. It could be quite nearly brand new to used, and there doesn't seem to be any flaws in the bass. And I was really shocked at how well lacquered this was. A very rock solid lacquer on it, like say a Les Paul, and I really love it. So that's the pros of it. The cons. Let's talk about the another thing is the neck is pretty slim. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 7 on the slim. I love slim necks. It really helps me out in my playing. I struggle for every note, so when I could get any kind of break on the neck, that's an amazing thing. So the neck itself, it's not. There's sometimes where you grab a bass neck and it's thick on the back like a log. That's not what this is in the slightest. The finish on it, it's a semi finish on the back of the neck, and which will bring me to one of the downsides of this particular unit was I sweat a lot when I play. So when sweat plus semi lacquered neck, and especially there's no lacquer on the front of this one, it just creates like a situation where you're starting to catch up on the neck, and you have to wipe it down or use stringies. I put a stringies on this the other day, something like that. So if you do want to get this unit, keep that in mind. 4 pounds doesn't seem like a lot of weight for a 58-year-old man with back issues. It can be a bit much. So I just thought of the irony of as I'm always trying to be in the gym and I'm always trying to press myself to lift more, to send this back over a weight issue would be a little weird. So I figure I'll just grin and bear it. The one more thing that I would also caution is I'm a pick player. So I play with the pick, and when I'm playing rock, especially fast rock, what I found is I started getting a red mark on my arm, and it has to do with the fact that there's no cuts. So, say like a Fender Jazz bass or a Fender P bass, even they have that particular cutout right there for your arm. This does not have that, so this would definitely lends itself better to a finger bass player. And I think if your finger, there's just like really hardly anything to complain about on this bass. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 9, only because it doesn't have that cutout. Everything else is my issue. Um, and I think it's a gorgeous bass, especially for the price. It also reminds me of Paul Reed Smith for some reason. So they're just the same quality. Uh, it's amazing bass. So that's about it, folks. That's the review. If you like this bass, if you'd like to take a look at it, I'll leave the link in the link below, and that will be a Amazon affiliate link. So if you do end up purchasing through my channel, I will actually benefit from that, and it will help support the channel, the things that we do here on this channel. And I think that's about it, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this bass, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Other than that, that's it. This is Molten Merch, and we will talk to you a little bit later. Bye-bye.